Atheists of the world unite. Okay, what does that mean? I've heard a lot of people talking about basically, what is it? Trying to politicize an atheist movement. A lot of that doesn't really work in my opinion, simply because atheism is a lack of a movement. It is basically a renouncement of other movements. It's basically saying, I'm not doing this. I'm not going here. I'm not going to worship the sky daddy. I'm just going to go my own way. And that's just it. It is your own way. Whereas worship is a unifying force. It simply says, we go to this one place, we talk to this one sky daddy, and we do what we think he says. We read his special book, and unless you plan on unifying the atheist movement under one person, and you find that whether it be Richard Dawkins on one side, or Christopher Hitchens on the other side, or Thunderfoot in front of you, basically, unless you find your demagogue, then you really don't have a movement. The other thing is that atheism, at least the common thread that I've found, is that atheism, the unifying thing about atheism is rationale, logic, and a lot of that is through personal experience, skepticism. If you're skeptical about something, then you definitely don't want to join it, right? But we just don't seem to have confidence in humans that run the same direction. Tend to question why we're going in that direction, what ends they tend to follow. And behind us, there is no motivator. For the French Revolution, it was food. Same thing for the Communist Revolution, 1917? Bolshevik movement. It was mainly driven by fear and food. Fascism, fear. They had a scapegoat. They had the Jews, basically, and they're unified in hatred. At least that's what it says in Mein Kampf. Anyways, I'm happy to hear some dissenting opinions concerning that. If the National Socialism movement wasn't about scapegoatism, then what was it for? Lebensraum. On and on. I mean, Pol Pot's Year Zero revolution. Basically a maniacal wiping out of the past. Basically starting over from scratch, and what you had to do was wipe out that which was old. Old learnings, who knows. The Crusades, very fear-based, as was the jihad at the after the 5th century, I guess. These were very, well, God told us to do it. Yeah, God wills it. Allahu Akbar. I mean, you have your battle cries. What's the atheist battle cry? Reason! Yeah, we don't. The thing is, we have an absence of emotion. We have rationale to basically drive us forward and do what needs to be done. And it's cold and dispassionate and basically doesn't light the imagination. Evolution! Yes, common ancestry. Forward the genome. No, it just doesn't. It doesn't have the same poetry. It doesn't have the same veritas. It's not visceral at all. It's simply driven by the ego, the superego, those two. The id's left far behind. And unfortunately, you have to embrace the id in order to fire people's imagination, get them passionate about scientific truths. No. Our fight isn't in the streets, it's in the classrooms. It's in the laboratories. I mean, somebody has a lobbyist movement that needs some attention. Well, this is how you're going to get a hold of me. That's all there is to it. But otherwise, I'd like to hear other people's opinions on what is the unifying movement of rational thought, of dissuading people from being too passionate in order that they might clear their minds and think more rationally and realize that atheism, it isn't an enemy, it's a cure. That's about all I can think of right now. Talk to you later.